Yes, big up people. Happy Christmas. It's Dan Potts here from Football's 12th Man. Big up to Rich and the Suffolk Crutch and everybody over there at the Suffolk Crunch who put out great content. I have to say, Rich will tell you, if you do not watch a lot of my content, I have a bit of a soft spot for Ipswich Town. I do, being an Essex boy, they're only over the border, so I always do follow them and have followed them for quite some time, just to look at their results and see how you guys are doing. And I must say, first of all, I'm a massive Kieran McKenna fan. I think the job that he has done there at Ipswich Town has been phenomenal. I think he did pretty much the unthinkable and get you the double promotion, which, let's be real, you deserved. I thought you were absolutely magnificent, particularly last season in the Championship, which was so competitive. This season, I think Ipswich have been unlucky, you know. I think you've given it a right good go. I don't think there's been ever a time where I've looked at Ipswich Town and thought, yeah, they don't look like they're giving their all. They don't look like they're trying. They don't look like they're behind the manager. Never have I looked at you put down in your tools. I think there's been a lot of opportunities where you could have taken more points, whether it be hanging on to that point or getting all three. And I just think there's been so many last-minute goals, last-minute disappointment, that it's been quite frustrating watching Ipswich or seeing their results. Now, I don't watch them on a regular basis. I, of course, only watch highlights or match of the day. But from what I can see, you've got some really talented players. I'm a big fan of Leif Davis and have been for quite some time. I think Liam Delap's been a phenomenal signing for you. I've always been a fan of Amari Hutchinson. I remember him coming through the youth system at Arsenal and always believed he could come on to do something great, and I think that's really good to see. I think what Kieran McKenna's tried to do is use his knowledge from the under-18s league and just look at who was the best around that time, and he's tried to bring all of them into Ipswich and make them into a team. Now, I think there has been some mistakes at the back for Ipswich, which I think you need to iron out. I'm certainly not going to sit there and lie and be naive enough to think that your goalkeeper's good enough. I think the amount of mistakes he's made have been poor. Then yet again, I see him making blinding saves. There's just no consistency with Muric. I think you might need to look in that position personally if you do want to stay up. It's going to be tough, but you all knew this as fans, right? You all knew this was going to be difficult, but this is what you wanted. Premier League, playing the likes of Manchester City, Liverpool and Arsenal is where Ipswich Town should be. You're a massive club, one of the biggest when you look around England, and for me, they do deserve to be in the Premier League. Anyway, enough bigging your team up, because obviously we've got to play you next. What do I think? Let's go through Arsenal's season first. It has not been great. Where Liverpool are right now is where I believe Arsenal should be aiming, and that was when Manchester City, or if Manchester City dropped off, Arsenal should have been that team, and Arsenal have not been that team. I don't think our summer transfer business was anywhere near good enough. Bringing in Raheem Sterling on deadline day just wasn't good enough for me. And I look at what we have achieved so far. There's been good parts and bad parts, and unfortunately the bad parts have outweighed the good for me. I think when you look at where we should be and what we should be looking at achieving, I don't think it's been good enough. I just don't. So I have to be realistic when I say that I think Liverpool are going to win this league. I think they look the best team. I think they look most consistent. I don't think they look like dropping any points anytime soon. And if they do drop points, it looks like Arsenal still can't manage to capitalise. And people have said to me, you know, Dan, what do you think about Manchester City dropping off out this title race? Where are Chelsea at? Liverpool looking very good. I look at what Arsenal are doing, and I just don't think Arsenal at the moment are showing enough consistency. I don't think our squad depth has been good enough to go for a league title. And I think you have to look at Mikel Arteta and the board and the ownership for that as a whole. I think Arteta's tactics have certainly not been great at times. The in-game management, the team selection, dropping Havertz into midfield, putting Partey at right back, all sorts of madness that we've seen from the manager. When you look at what Manchester City have done, completely dropping out, you think, right, where are Arsenal? Well, we find ourselves behind both Liverpool and Chelsea. I never saw that coming. I really didn't. I thought we'd be right up there this season. Unfortunately, as much as I do think that the title race is not over, I don't look at how many points we're behind or in front of. I actually look at how we're playing. I don't see the same level of consistency or free-flowing football that I've seen from Arsenal. There's been glimpses of it. When you put 5 past Palace and 5 past West Ham, and you put 5 past Sporting Lisbon, you beat Forest, who, let's be real, have been very good this season by 3-0, you think finally Arsenal are back. And then there's the Everton result, the draw. Then there's the draw at Craven Cottage. Then there's the draw at Chelsea. We lose to Inter Milan. And then we go on a nice little run again. And that's basically what happens with Arsenal under Mikel Arteta, is we get a real level of nice, consistent form. And then there's a little good cluster of results. And then essentially that is what you go back to at the end of the season. As to why you haven't won the league. And I think it's going to be similar to that. Mikel Arteta needs to win a trophy. If it's a Carabao Cup and we challenge, I'm happy. If it's an FA Cup and we challenge, I'm happy. If it's a Champions League, even better. And if it's the Premier League, the one that everybody seems to want, then that is, of course, goal completed. But he needs to get across the line. It's been 5 years. This is his 6th season as Arsenal manager. He's had £750 million that has been spent on this team to get it right. He needs to deliver now. As for the game on the 27th, I was going to say the weekend. It's not so confusing around Christmas time. What do I expect? I expect a tough game because Ipswich have got nothing to lose. They're expected to lose this game. They're going to come there and give it their all. I am going to go for a 3-1 Arsenal win because I do believe that we'll have enough quality to shine through. I think we can get your goalkeeper and your defence. So I'm going to go for an Arsenal 3-1 victory. But I don't think the scoreline will suggest that it will be a hammering. I think you can give us a game. And I think that's exactly what you will do. Enjoy it. Merry Christmas, everyone. Like and subscribe. And thanks once again to Rich and everybody at Suffolk Crunch. Take care, people. Happy Christmas.